You're listening to Miscast Commentary.
Hey everybody, welcome to Miscast Commentary. I am Joe Finley, and this is a Coming Attractions episode, and once again, live via Zoom, far away from me, I can't even touch him. Todd, Tebow the Sailor Murray, how the hell are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. You know, you can always touch me in different ways. You know, spiritually, exactly. Just like that. Just believe. Just believe.
Oh man, how we doing?
My genitals also believe.
Absolutely. So how are things going over there?
Oh my god, dude! Seriously, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah.
I just remembered this right now. Like 2 days ago, I had this like ridiculous dream where I always have crazy, awful, ridiculous dreams. And this one, I'm not even kidding you. I was like, I got to remember this. And I just remembered at the proper time. It was me and you. I don't know how it ended up. We were at some motel somewhere on the ground floor, and we are about to have sex.
Oh, nice.
But it just turned into like there was no anything. It was just suddenly it was like you were there, I was there, and you're like, come on, like put it in. And I'm like, I can see people out the window.
Oh, I was the bottom?
Kids running around at like the pool and everything. I was like, I can't do that because like I was worried that they could see us through the window. And then when you moved over and laid down, I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this. And then you were like, neither do I. And then the dream just completely changed.
Nice.
Yeah, no, honest to God, though, I just remember you being like, I don't want to do it either. And I was like, boo. And then it just changed to something else. It was like some kind of a Freudian flip.
Let's be superheroes instead.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy, that's funny.
So what have you seen? Have you seen anything? Have you watched? Have you know what's going on out there?
I think I have, but the problem is now that I know that I'm the bottom in the relationship, I don't know how to feel.
Just in that moment.
Oh, okay.
I reciprocate. I'm all about 50-50.
Oh, sweet. Okay. It's been a pretty even partnership.
Just to let you know.
Yeah, okay, so watching stuff. I don't know. I've been
Did you see the latest episode of WandaVision?
I sure as hell did, and it was wonderful.
With Agnes.
And can we just give Kathryn Hahn the Emmy for Best Supporting Actress now?
I agree. I said it like last time we spoke. I think she's amazing in everything that she does, and she was so great in this. Like I said, the scene that I think was the best one was her in the car at the end of the rift, like at the end of this. Don't go to the end of that street, or don't go past that street, or whatever. WandaVision tells him, and she's sitting there like losing it.
Yeah,
but it's all an act, even to Vision, who's trying to leave.
Yeah,
which was absolutely amazing.
Oh man, it's so cool. And then we got the white Vision. You saw the post-credit thing, and so much going on.
I have been, you know, now that Disney had that big content dump.
Yes.
I went on there and refound, which I think was on there before the content dump, which was the X-Men cartoon.
Yes, it was there.
And I have been watching this cartoon religiously because I loved it back in the day.
It was a good cartoon.
And it still totally holds up.
Great.
And I just, before we spoke, got through the Phoenix Saga.
That I remember that very
of my childhood's weekend existence. It was like every fucking time it's the Phoenix Saga, Saturday, whatever time it came. I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. The Phoenix Saga again. But it was so good. And like, okay, so from watching this and then watching WandaVision, I said to you before that Wanda is going to be the one that introduces the mutants.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I was telling you, I don't like this whole extra dimension bullshit.
Yes.
I don't like that kind of idea. And then I went through all these old once I saw Agatha Harkness, I started really digging into the kids and all the stories. And in one of them, Wanda says in House of M, where her powers are totally like, this is essentially kind of like the House of M. Yeah. You know what I mean? How like Civil War was, you know, they kind of do what they can. But I think that that Wanda is going to be the one that introduces the mutants. And I said it before. Yeah. And now I just saw a couple days ago it's saying the same thing. Like the multiverse of madness is going to be the one that brings in. And I still wait, was that the last episode of Wanda?
Well, here's what's interesting is that when this comes out, the last episode of WandaVision will have come out. So we haven't seen that yet because this is Thursday.
Haven't seen, I think Magneto is showing up.
I had a feeling about that. And actually it's funny because you were bringing up the whole introducing the mutants thing and stuff like that too. I was certain that Agatha was going to tell her that the reason, because she a few times brings stuff up. She's like, oh, interesting how that bomb didn't go off while you and your brother were there. And then
Right.
she made another point about like her surviving the mind gem and stuff like that when it literally killed everybody else. I thought she was going to tell her the reason that all of that happened is because she's a mutant.
Right.
And I thought you were going to find out that she's the first, not the first mutant, but the first
But
one
the first
we know
known
about.
into this universe mutant.
And that's what I thought we were going to find out. And then you would find out, oh, there are people like this, and we've already knew one, which would make sense since they already are. I was waiting for that reveal, and maybe it'll still come. I don't know, but
I think it is still going to come. And you know, from watching the Phoenix Saga, the cartoon again.
yeah,
Well, like I said, now I'm watching the X-Men cartoon. I'm just like, fuck, I'm like so nervous about like, which is so dumb. You know what I mean? It's like, the X-Men is my ultimate favorite.
I know.
Like more than Hulk, more than I just love the team. I love they have the best bad guys. They're like Spider-Man. Like they have just the best bad guys.
Yeah. I always liked I remember like back in the day when it was kind of like X-Men or Avengers, I was always X-Men because I didn't really get these teams that were, I don't know, they felt to me like weird super groups. Right. It's like, oh, all these big guys were just putting together, and it was like, X-Men to me is like the Wu-Tang Clan. It was built as a team and then went off into its own direction.
That's right.
I think that's a pretty good analogy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good as well.
Thank you. But it's, but like the other one, they were all individuals kind of brought together for the most part, and it's like, I don't know, it's weird, but I totally agree with you, and I get the nerves of them being brought in finally to the MCU and stuff.
Like, you know how I just hated those Fox X-Men movies.
I know.
I despised them.
I know. I hear you. And
they're just garbage.
Like
they're just
yeah.
In the Phoenix Saga, there's a group that shows up called the Starjammers. Dude, seriously, they're the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
And I don't know who came first.
Yeah.
But the lead dude, who is like Star-Lord, turns out to be Cyclops' father.
Interesting.
And I'm telling you that James Gunn, the entire first Guardians of the Galaxy, he's a big, I guarantee you he watched the same cartoons, because what I just saw was exactly what happened in Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Really?
The Phoenix has to gain, she's like, the only way I can close the crystal off is if I harness the power of all my friends. And she's like, Wolverine's strength, grabs his hand.
Oh.
Beast's a gentleness, grabs his hand, like Scott's love. And I was like, this is exactly what happens in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's funny.
Not to mention that the Starjammers are literally like the same team.
Really?
And I don't know who came first, but I'm telling you, you gotta watch that. Anybody who's listening to this, watch the Phoenix Saga X-Men cartoon, and you tell me that that's not Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's crazy. I don't remember that. I was gonna actually say how vividly I remember most of the Phoenix Saga too, and that just that completely escapes
You should, because
me.
it was on every goddamn Saturday.
That's what I'm saying. When you were saying you saw, like, we saw it all the time, I'm like, oh, that's probably why I remember that so vividly.
Probably why you erased it from your memory.
Probably. But actually, one thing that I really liked in the old superhero cartoons, it's not even that old. It was when I started working at YTV in Canada, of course. The original Teen Titans cartoon had this amazing, I don't know what season it was in, but they had this amazing storyline where the Teen Titans were there was a guy called I think it was the Collector? Yeah. Something like that. And basically he stole. So the whole first half of the season was the Teen Titans traveling the world, recruiting other Teen Titans to become groups all around the world because they can't be everywhere.
Like franchises.
So, essentially. So there was like a Teen Titans in South America. There was one in Europe. There was one in Asia, whatever, right? And what they did, so after all of that happened, it was Slade and the Collector and a few other bad guys. They all got together and they started kidnapping these guys and sealing. It was basically like the friggin' what was it? That Simpsons, the Treehouse of Horror, when dude becomes the Collector and he seals them in lucite. Basically the exact same thing happens.
Yeah.
But it was most of the Well, it was all of the Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans, except Beast Boy. And Beast Boy had to travel around the world and find who was left. And they created this like weird, like little Teen Titans of like all these like random. They had Masi Menos, who was like twin brothers who could go like, they were super small and they could go really fast if they were holding each other. And then there was like, I can't remember, there was like a big Amazonian woman from like Brazil. It was just a bunch of weird ones like that. And it was
They're
up
like
to
the Suicide Squad of like the.
Yeah, sort of. And so what was interesting was that like, so it was their job to kind of like save the day. And when they finally got to the place and they let everybody out, spoiler alert, then it's like every Teen Titan fighting every bad guy all at once. I was like, this should be the series finale. It may well have been, I don't know. But like, it was like, I remember being like excited. It's probably the most excited I've ever been about a DC property.
No, their cartoon movies are good.
Yeah. Well, this wasn't even the
But
movie.
I've never watched Teen Titans or Teen Titans Go, so I don't know whether. But I heard they were really good.
Teen Titans was good because it was the right. It had
Good
the
enough
right.
to have its movie.
Yeah, but it had the right. What is it? Like the tone that they were meant to have. You know,
right?
It's kind of like, you know, if you did Deadpool any other way, people would be like, "What the fuck is this? This isn't Deadpool." It's kind of what they were doing with Teen Titans, which is why I was so down on the Titans TV show, because they just made some weird angsty, like fucking.
I didn't get through it.
Yeah, no, neither could I.
I watched the first season. I was like, I can't do this. It was like the Snyder cut of like Teen Titans. You know what I mean? I was just like, what the hell?
It was just reminding me because what's it called? The Archie had just come out not that long before.
Oh, like the new Archie. Yeah.
It's
the
like
WB Archie.
Yeah. And then they had the I wanted to say Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it's not. It's Sabrina the Teenage Witch. They have the exact same thing of that too. It's all like just angsty teens. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? I kind of dug
that one though. I actually stopped watching Sabrina on Netflix. I kind of dug it though.
Okay.
But I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
And it was so many of those. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, you had this opportunity to be like the first fun DC product.
Right.
Like as a live action thing. And then they just decided not to.
I watched, it just showed up on Netflix. I watched Shazam.
Oh, how was it?
It was really fun, actually. Just like you, right when you said that, it was like, oh, I really liked Shazam, actually.
Cool. I haven't gotten around to watching it yet. I almost did one time, and then I think it was on Crave here, and something turned me around. You know me. I probably watched fucking a season of Community instead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There was some other.
What is a season of Community on?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
in my brain.
Well, that's like Carrie. She's been trying to find new shows, and so I convinced her to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's been watching that and enjoying it, and I've been getting back into it, and I didn't really forget what happens, but you know how it happens over 6 or 7 season show, you forget when things happen?
Right.
You're like, oh, this happened a lot earlier than I thought, or this hasn't happened yet. I'm like,
right.
Weird. So it's been kind of interesting. So like no surprises, but still kind of like not really knowing what's going to happen next. So it's been fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's been so long, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we watch so much stuff too. Like, unless something's really gonna rock you, we're so distracted all the time. Even when even watching something, here on the computer or something, I'm always like pausing it and I go do this and far around and look at my phone.
Yeah. I'll tell you what,
look up things about what I'm watching at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah. Like what?
But which we basically turned into a podcast.
Yep.
That's it. But what else too? I watched with the kids last week. We watched The Croods.
The new Croods?
The new Croods. I hadn't seen
cruder than ever.
I hadn't seen the original Croods. I wasn't interested, but Abby wanted to see
neither
this
was I never saw it.
Abby wanted to see this one, so I was like, okay, what the hell? And I put it on. It was pretty good for judging against like a kids movie kind of thing. It was fun. It had stuff for the adults. The cast was out of this world. It's Nicolas Cage is the dad, Kathryn Keener's the mom, Emma Stone is the daughter, who's like the main person. Ryan Reynolds is like the love interest. Cloris Leachman.
Ryan Reynolds.
You know him, Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And then
I was thinking Gosling. You were like Ryan Reynolds. I was like, what?
no, it blew my mind to hear his voice, and I was like, oh Jesus, like I really knew nothing about this. And then who else?
Who was the Croods? WB?
No, DreamWorks.
Ah.
Yeah, and then who else? Cloris Leachman was like the grandmother.
Oh my god!
And she's brilliant. She's
I love
so funny.
Cloris Leachman.
And then and then the new family that came in. It's basically like they find the Garden of Eden, and it's like this beautiful place. And it's Peter Dinklage was the dad, and the mom.
Quite the cast of this thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It blew my mind. Like everybody was somebody in this thing, except the people who didn't talk. And I was really blown away.
And they were even someone.
Yeah, that was Denzel Washington. Just
the guy who doesn't talk, Denzel. He didn't talk like a champ. He was amazing.
Yeah, give that man an Oscar.
Wow,
man. Speaking of awards, the
Golden Globes just happened.
Golden Globes just happened and took a tumble in the ratings. I
guess
guess
passed me right over.
Yeah, they said it dropped. Originally, they said it had dropped 60%, but they're like, don't quote us on that. Let us get all the numbers.
It was 75.
It was 64%. It still had gone up. And
you know why? Because here's the thing: like award shows are cool, but doing it everybody from your house, that's fucking lame. You want the 3 hours before of like them walking past and all the news, they're all, look at me, what are you wearing? All that bullshit that I don't care about, but that's all the crap, they're on stage, they're together. It loses its magic.
Oh, it does. And it was cool, like the first time somebody did it, because they're like, ooh, how are they going to do an award show in this scenario? And then they did it, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. And so move on. They needed to
Your mail will be in the award, or your award will be in the mail tomorrow.
Yeah.
They can't send it out before, because then it's not a surprise, because they got it 3 days before.
Mm-hmm. What I think they should do, actually, I saw a suggestion on Twitter for the Oscars, and I kind of liked it, but then I expanded on it. Somebody was saying that they should do the Oscars at the Hollywood Bowl because it's outdoors, so they could have more people there and they could spread people out more and do all that kind of stuff. I was like, that's a cool idea, but I would say go even further and move it over multiple venues. So then the people who are nominated, like, they can still accept their award live at a location. They could have red carpets all over the place. They could do all that shit. They wouldn't be able to have the after parties, but that's not really our problem. That's theirs.
Oh, sure they will. They just don't say it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had a distanced blah 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 after party. Oh yeah. Once the mountain of cocaine comes out, that's the end of that.
Huzzah, cocaine.
But the mountain of cocaine is wearing a Soviet mask.
Yes. As long as
it was safe coming in. So what's the problem?
Yeah, it only coughed on me once.
Yo, did you hear this?
What?
I don't know whether it was for the first Coming to America or just the new Coming to America, but the studio Paramount literally went to Eddie Murphy and demanded he put one white person in the movie.
I literally just read that before
I'm like, are you fucking okay? Because it was always the opposite way.
Yeah.
We're like, you know what? There's just way too many white people in this movie. We're gonna have to get a black guy. No, like this is so ridiculous. Like, what the fuck? If I was Eddie Murphy, I would have told them to go fuck themselves.
They should have. Because what are they gonna do?
What the fuck? Like that was like, we can't sell this movie unless at least one white person is at least in the background.
Yeah, that movie. And speaking
of that
which,
white person, what's his name?
I don't know.
Louis Anderson. He's the only white person I can remember from the first one.
Hey, everybody, let's play the feud. Top 4 answers on the board.
Isn't that so ridiculous, though? Yeah. Like, I can't believe that this is coming out now, and this is not being made a big deal of.
I know. It's, but literally, I think it just broke today. Like, that's bananas.
Yeah, no, I read it like a couple days ago.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. This was the first time I read it
this so that we can talk, and I was just like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Like,
yeah.
Like, I agree. Why? What was their, what was their justification? Like, what the shit? Like,
yeah, because I think that, while there were white people in Black Panther, I don't think they were forced upon them.
Yeah, but I mean, like who cares? Like, yeah. Like, who the shit cares?
That's exactly it. But
who cares? I watched a movie starring all you know, like all black people, and then be like, where's the white guy? Like I'm watching like Cleopatra Jones or something. Well, the white guy's the bad guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty
But I
much.
mean, like, who gives it? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, who? I don't give a shit. Who cares?
I know it's so dumb. We were talking. I was talking about kind of race in movies today with my mom. We were just talking about everything. I don't want to get into all this stuff because of all the just the dumb drama of everything.
You know what you mean? I mean exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to go in depth on anything.
No,
and
but
give
like
you know,
we were talking about
it's bullshit because you know, obviously, sorry to cut you, but the way that the culture is and the way that they've held everybody down, and then to be like, you got to throw a, you know what I mean? Like, fuck off.
And this is what I'm getting at too. Is so basically we were talking about the Dr. Seuss thing that happened, where the so it was 4 or 6 books. I read 4, but my mom had read 6. They stopped publishing them. Every title I had never heard of in my life, first off.
Yeah, me either.
So, but then the other part of it, it was like, okay, so those 4 weren't being published. And then everybody was like, they're canceling Dr. Seuss. I'm like, no, they're taking 4 books off the thing. Now, my personal opinion, I don't know the content, but if it was just if it was just a picture, like in my brain, I always picture when it's something being old and racist, it's always like the Japanese, like the, also like that kind of thing. Right. I always, because that's what they did in the Looney Tunes all the time. So if that was the case, my argument would be to alter the book, change the drawing.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Just if it's the rhymes and everything are still the same, just change the picture.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was that or if it was like text. So I don't know.
What I had heard that it was pictures.
Then if it's pictures, they should have just, I think they should have changed
racist imagery.
And it wouldn't have been a problem. That being said, then the other side is all going, oh, we're not going to let you cancel Dr. Seuss. And then they're buying up more Dr. Seuss. Nobody's canceling Dr. Seuss. It's like nobody's trying to get rid of the Cat in the Hat. And that guy was an asshole.
Yeah, he was a dick.
But like but yeah, it was just that thing. So I didn't want to get into that, but the whole idea of, I was explaining to my mom, and I was like, with all the, also, and all that stuff. I'm like, think about the 80s and think about every Asian actor, just anyone.
Yeah.
The best they could hope for. They could go to Juilliard, and the best they could hope for in a movie was taking pictures and going, oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like, think dude from Caddyshack, Brian Tochi from
Long Duck Dong.
Long Duck Dong is another one. Like,
he was in lots of them, using UHF as the same character, essentially.
And I'm like, these are all guys, like, these weren't guys who had broken accents who were brought in. It's like, it's funny that you have a broken accent, let's use it. It was, no, these are guys who were like born in fucking Van Nuys and shit like that. And it's like, oh, okay, be a Chinaman for us. And he's like, I'm Korean. No, be a Chinaman.
And no one notices or cares.
Right? Yeah, and it's really, and it was such a bummer. I'm like, the fact that those guys didn't just give up. Like, you know, Brian Tochi went on to be like a huge voice actor and stuff like that. He voiced Donatello and Ninja Turtles and all this kind of stuff. But like, I don't know, it just blew my mind. And to step in and try and tell anybody who's created an all black cast, or like Crazy Rich Asians with an all Asian cast, anything like that, or anything with an all Latin cast, to tell them they have to do anything, go fuck yourself hard.
Agreed. Like, that's like, fuck that.
Ugh.
Like, who the fuck, like...
Yeah. It affected nothing. The movie...
that's why, like, when I read it, I was like, what? Like...
Yeah. We're recording this on Thursday, and actually the movie dropped today. It was supposed to come out tomorrow. So it's on Amazon now.
I need to see those, you know, Dr. Seuss pictures, but I don't know whether this is just a byproduct of like the cancel culture, or if it really should be. Like, I mean, they may be looking in the background and it's some general, you know what I mean? And then somebody saw this, you know, when it's really not. Like, and I don't know. I don't know how far it's going to go until they're going to be like, oh, well, this guy was mean to a woman once, so all his art is gone. You know, everything's gone. Oh, we'll have nothing, and we'll just go to a museum and stare at a blank wall.
Yeah, and while I'm hoping it doesn't go that far, but like people complained about, like, Disney Plus put a warning on like 2 Muppets episodes because there's some like racially sensitive
They're just being
Comments.
proactive.
And that's it. They didn't
They
pull the
went through their content and they were like, you know what, somebody might have a problem with this.
Yeah, and they just put a warning up. They didn't take it off. They didn't do anything
Yep.
like that. And people went all off on them too. They're like, "Oh, Disney's canceling the Muppets." I'm like, "No, quite the opposite. They just put them on the air."
Yeah, when you watch, I was at my buddy's house and he was watching. I love the channel Deja Vu
Oh yeah,
or something.
One of
and
my
before most of their shows come on,
Yeah.
that warning is there.
Yep. And it's
Before Gilligan's Island.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Before Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was like everything from back then had something like that. Think about Tom and Jerry. The woman who lived in the house that you only saw her legs or whatever. She was like Mammy. You know?
Oh, totally. She'd like jump up on the stool.
Like
you never saw her though. Why? Are they saying that she's racist creation?
Well, it's no. When you hear her voice, she's all like, "Oh Lord, I'm gonna get the mouse." Oh, like, and it was
What's
just
the problem
like,
with that.
it was like they were like black facing a voice.
Black
Like,
facing.
it was
That's a good way of putting it. Actually, black facing a voice.
It was something else. And like I think about Looney Tunes, like the same shit. Like I guess they don't really have to deal with it because they're not anywhere. Really, I think they're going to start streaming on HBO Max. It'll be interesting to see.
Oh, no way! All the Looney Tunes episodes?
Well, it makes sense. It's Warner Brothers, right? So,
oh, yeah. I love Looney Tunes.
I do too. But my big problem with Looney Tunes, though, that I actually, because like I obviously find Looney Tunes and their characters more memorable in their shorts than the Disney guys. Like I don't remember a lot. I remember some goofy shorts, but not a lot.
They should do more. Like when I was farting around at Disney, there was like the Three Musketeers with like Donald, Mickey, and Goofy. They need to do more like that. Where's the newest like Mickey? The original movie.
They do stuff, but nothing like that. It would be interesting.
Mickey movie.
Yeah, even if they just created it for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But no, I'm totally on board with that. But what was driving me what kind of drives me bananas about the Looney Tunes is that everybody had a formula. If you've seen one Roadrunner and Coyote and Roadrunner, you've seen them all. If you've seen one Foghorn Leghorn, you've seen them all. Yeah. Like they don't even not even new jokes. He still has the "Fortunately, I have my feathers numbered for just such an occasion." It's in every fucking
he's one
episode.
of those guys.
Well, it's fine and it's funny, but it was like everybody had that. I would argue that Bugs was the only one who had more branched out episodes.
Bugs Bunny was an asshole too.
He was an asshole, but at the very least, like he had different stories than everybody else. Like
he had different shtick.
Like everybody had the same fucking thing. Like
but it was always okay. So maybe he was in a different story, but it was essentially the same thing.
Yeah,
where he annoys the shit out of a guy, pulls his little pranks, and then like I always remember the one where he his mattress, the place fills up with water, his mattress goes down and he goes with Buddy, the hairy
nighty night rat.
Yeah, see, like that one was kind of a different one, right? Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
and they had the one with the music. Like, it's always the same. Like, ain't I a stinker kind of thing? But it's
Daffy, but he had Buck Rogers in the 21st century. Yeah. Like he would always be in period pieces, so he was kind of different. He was Robin Hood, and he was
different. But then when they did every time they did Duck Dodgers, it was always the same thing or whatever. Yes. But it was just, it was like they hired an actor to do a sketch though. So it was kind of like, and they were fun nonetheless, because you were seeing something, like your eyes were seeing something roughly new, so you were fine with it. But like if any of them came on in front of my kids, I could like tell them like beat for beat what was about to happen. Like say a Pepe Le Pew came on, I'm like, okay, so that cat somehow gonna get accidentally painted white on the back. Then the skunk's gonna try and rape her nonstop for 9 minutes. And like that's gonna be the end of it. And
are they gonna cut him out? They'll just have warnings over the whole thing. In the beginning, just be like a warning. This is a rape
warning. The 60s
bonanza.
Yeah. So but we're gonna talk.
He just tried to kiss her. It's not like he finger banged her or anything.
But I like it was only a matter of time. If
he did finger bang her, he'd know.
She's
a skunk, bro.
Yeah, had she even been like even if she even hesitantly kissed him, he would have been like 3 knuckles deep in her. But,
pretty much.
Yeah, it's bananas. But But yeah, that was, anyways, that was just my thoughts on all that. Wanted to talk about next week's movie. We actually spoiled one for a change. We actually said in a previous movie that we were going to do this, and then we kind of held it off. So next week, you are going to hear us cover Sylvester Stallone and Antonio Banderas in Assassins. Take a listen.
Knew this day would come. Can you at least tell me how much I was worth? We both play this game, Wrath. What kind of shoes will you be wearing when your day comes?
In the shadows of life, in the business of death, Robert Rath is ready to stop the killing.
The history stops here. No more. It quits.
But in the eyes of a rival,
Can I help you?
I'm just looking for someone.
What's the name? I can check the plot map for you.
the real competition
He's not dead yet.
is about to begin.
Contractor tried to kill you, buddy. That's not good. Between you and him, right?
I'm going to tear your heart out.
Why don't you just leave me out of it? What's this for?
Just in case.
I can't shoot anybody.
You wish at me.
I was aiming at the lamp.
Moving target. The last game ends before anyone wins.
Don't play with me now.
Warner Brothers presents Sylvester Stallone,
10 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm gonna go into that bank. He's gonna be down there in the plaza somewhere in the crowd.
He'll shoot you before you go into the bank.
No. He'll wait for the prime shot.
Antonio Banderas,
A woman. It's not the same as killing a man. You have to pull the trigger a different way.
Julianne Moore,
You're a strange man, Robert Rath.
As long as you are out there, I'll never be number one. Step outside, and I'll set you free.
this fall, don't take your eyes off them
Surprise.
for a second.
Now what?
Assassins, directed by Richard Donner.
And we're back. We were just planning a schedule, but the trailer finished.
I thought there was a kind of a particularly long preview.
It was like 2.5 minutes long, and I have it programmed so it automatically comes back to us. Like if you're watching on the video, you'll have watched it just come back right onto us automatically, and that's what happened. If you're listening, none of this means anything, but I'm sorry if you're listening. Okay, more of you should listen, but then you should also watch the video, so then you double our views and listens. Do it. Fucking do it. All right. I think we're going to call it quits for today, for this episode. We got to record a movie, and we are looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to telling you what it is. We will see you then with that. And in...
Like, see you then with that. I like that.
Yeah, it's the best I can do. So how about we just all fucking ease up? Let's just ease up. Let's just ease up off my back. I blew it, okay? Now everybody knows. All right, so as usual, find us at miscastcommentary.com. Email us podcast@miscastcommentary.com. Twitter, I'm at miscastjoe. Todd's at miscasttodd, and we are at miscastpodcast. Instagram at miscastcommentary. All those good things. Follow us places. Look on our page and go to our Discord and join our Discord. It's not really up and running yet, but I'm trying to do that instead of the Facebook. I haven't been a fan of the Facebook for a while, and I think that we could really all have a lot more fun on Discord, and we could talk to each other.
I agree. Facebook's the devil.
There you go. So you listen to Todd. So
Mark Zuckerberg is a freakazoid. He's watching every move you do. Get on Discord.
Get on Discord. The guy on there is only half a pervert. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Exactly.
know. Frank Discord. I don't know this guy. All right, guys. But until next week.
Frank, is that really the guy's name?
Yeah, it's got to be
Frank Discord.
It's got to be Frank Discord.
You old son of a bitch.
And Fred YouTube. All the good stuff. All right. Until next week, guys. With Assassins, get ready to listen to a lot of silent gunshots. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
This has been Miscast Commentary with your hosts, Joe Finley and Todd Murray. Executive producer, Joe Finley. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Visit www.miscastcommentary.com for all news related to the podcast. Miscast Commentary is a Miscast Media production.